All right, guys, welcome to a new series called Who is to Blame? Where we look at goals against that happen in the game and we figure out who is to blame, essentially. So in this one, we're playing against some what I would call decent esports players. Near the top, at the top, the guys that I'm with, I don't know too much about. Where I'm actually playing the winger. So I'm getting some winger reps here. I just kind of filled in. So what happens here, we have a rush. I'm not sure if he was trying to find me, but then yellow trying to make a pass. I'm assuming over to green, or maybe he was trying to find teal. Goes back the other way. So now teal's got to play more inside. He doesn't. Back, and they score. So from this standpoint, there's not really much the forwards can do, right? This is a play that is entirely controlled from the defenseman. As in yellow, right? He's trying to find a pass over to green, I'm assuming. Right there. Two guys took it away. Sorry for the glitch. I'm not sure how to fix that. That's just how it is. So it goes back the other way. I don't know why it's still glitching. And teal should have played this a little bit better. Yellow is away from the frame here. So it is a 2-on-1. He should have, I would say if you're teal, you anchor yourself more. Like you try to pull a few fakes towards the guy. But then obviously you're making the read that you're trying to force this guy to make that pass over to this guy, so that you can then play that when that pass is made. And maybe yellow can help on the back check if you push them through enough. Here, it's just a straight pass. Bang, they get it. So, I mean, I would say that's almost 50-50 when you look at the defense. There's not much the forwards could have done there. I mean, we're trying to get open. Unless, I'm not sure if green was in a position to back check quickly. Here, no, it's already there. Like, there's nothing that these guys can do. It's all on the defense, I would say here. Goalie, it's tough to really make a save there. It's a breakaway. I mean, he could have went forehand. He could have went backhand. When that option is available for a goaltender, yeah, you don't put the blame on the goaltender. If he makes a save there, then he just saved your ass. That's basically what you say there. All right, so here we have a play where we went tic-tac-toe a little bit, or like a give and go between me and red. So now we're in a trap position. I am the one that went for that hit. They enter off the right side, a shot that goes in. So you can blame a few people here, actually. And it does start with me, because what happens is, right, a trap defense here where green's, that's fine, but typically, right, the wingers will cover the boards. So you stop these wingers. If they do like an in and out cut towards the boards, the winger takes it, right? So they try to play outside leverage. It's almost like we're outside leverage trying to force this guy to cut in, and then the defense or center can take that. Typically then the center is going to be man-to-man coverage through the center. So if the center cuts this way, if you're the centerman, you're going to cut with him, right? Typically. And then the two defense are staggered in between the center and winger on their side, and they play like inside leverage, staying over the top. There's not too much of like they have to hold the blue line. That's mainly done, I would say, from the forwards. You see what I do? What I try to do is I guess a surprise play where we play trap. There's teams that do this, right? Where they try to time the pass that a defenseman would typically make. Where, you know, the defenseman's going to carry here, then he's going to try to find a pass sort of last second around the red line, maybe even the blue line here. I think by this time it became too late, where this is actually a timed pass that they're trying to make. I mean, maybe, I don't know, but because I was already on this guy and then I went for this hit, it's not really up to yellow to hold the blue line. He just sort of has to mirror him, sort of play inside. So the entry zone was from where I should have been. As you see, this guy enters from the outside. There's not much yellow can do besides try to angle him off. He actually may have been able to get a hit here if he went and committed fully, but it's still kind of too much of a risk. Maybe not though, because I mean, you would expect the center, right, red and teal to sort of play inside leverage on their man. You might be able to get teal for some support, but it just all depends on where green goes on this to maybe help support as well. If, you know, yellow were to make a play on Ranty and Ranty goes on, you know, goes around him, and now it's like a weird 2-on-1 or 2-on-2 type scenario, and now it's like, all right, who's gonna pick what? Here though, it's not. I mean, yellow, you could say maybe he played a little bit too passive. I think there was enough time for teal to make a play here on the guy who took a shot. Red actually should have allowed these guys to play their man and went for this hit. Now if you're green, you could also do that too, because there's nobody else here. If there was somebody here, then that would be red taking that. But typically when you look at three offensive players from the opposing team, the center, how he matches up compared to his two defensemen, he takes the higher guy. So when this guy cuts in, you expect red to go and take that. Teal, then you expect these guys to sort of play man-to-man coverage and follow their man down low during these plays. Because again, you look at the defenseman taking a deeper threat, the center's going to take the high, like in the slot, high slot type plays. So there should have been a body on Ranty to delay him at least a little bit. If red sort of went, you could even have green go and hit as well, or maybe play, you know, sort of high here as well, just to sort of stop that from being a play. Because this is a play where you're getting to a play that's not in the hash marks. You're looking at it as just above, near the high slot, I guess. Teal should have still been able to get a play on it. I mean, you can look at a couple guys here. It does start with me. It also starts yellow, maybe had a play, but you can't really fault him for not pressing. We still should have had enough time. Like, he was still playing his man appropriately. So I would actually excuse yellow from this. You could say red could have maybe laid a body on it. You could say teal could have picked off the pass. You knew where it was going to go. So there's a three. I would say me to red to teal, or maybe it's me to teal to red. Green, you could say he's excused a little bit, but he could have still been a part of it. So everybody could have technically taken some kind of credit or some kind of blame for the goal, but you can't really fault. I would say you can't really fault green. You can't really fault yellow too much. It's kind of between me, red, and teal, I would say, on this play, but you guys let me know. All right, so this is a play. We try to get the puck out. Can't. So now it's kind of quick transition. Let's actually take a look at the play. Yellow's got to come up bigger. And he doesn't. I would say he played it as he should have and allowed the goaltender to make the save on the short side. You know, I think that went across him. So now yellow made a pass over to green. I wouldn't say that was the best pass. He probably could have made a pass to red. Would have had a lot more space here. 3-on-2. He forces a pass to green that loses it. So now it's a quick transition. And now we're kind of discombobulated a little bit. They score. I mean, this is where yellow takes a blame here big time. Not only because he made the turnover, or he turned it over there. Yellow had it. He lost it, right? He made a bad pass over to green. Goes back the other way. I would say if you're yellow, you got to play more passive. Stay over the top to try to go and be aggressive here. If you're going to be aggressive, you can't miss. If you miss, bang. Because this is technically a miss. I mean, it's not really actually, because he did actually hit him. So it's tough to say. It's just based on the position to go for that hit. Red wasn't in, I wouldn't say, a position where he could have rotated and taken this guy as quick. I mean, he kind of had a bad pursuit almost, but like that's kind of, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure where red went here. If red kind of went like this and then straight line this way, you could have cut off the angle a little bit better. He kind of did this little banana route, and then this guy then eventually gets there. Your teal in this case, he's got to stay home and cover this guy, so he kind of has to stay put. Yeah, there's not much you can do there. You can maybe throw a poke check out late, but you also want to be there for the pass, right? This guy does poke check, right? You see where teal goes. He tries to poke check late. Red, I mean, it's kind of tough, right? Because again, right, if you're yellow, the best play that could have happened was you stay in your position. If yellow was here, he could have then just taken the winger, played to his inside. He would have had a better inside leverage pursuit. Like, he would have had better inside leverage, technically, right? Red is there. He could play inside of Ethan. You have teal that could play inside of Dan. You got yellow that could have played over to this winger here, right? Inside leverage. We're in a good spot. There's no reason for us to be aggressive. Why? Right? You're just forcing a play that off a turnover, too. And now it kind of puts red in a bad spot where he has to now race to track the inside of somebody driving in with wheels on. So I would say that's a bad step. Looking at it in hindsight, that's like sort of a split-second decision. You could say both red and yellow could have played that better. And I would say the majority of this fault does rely on yellow because of that turnover and the fact that he did go for that hit. It's not a bad play technically, but then that put Red in a bad spot. Red could have played it better. Teal kind of had to stay home if he threw a poke check out late, quick. These are kind of plays where it's not really, he's not playing out of his position. He's playing where he needs to be. I would say the majority of this play does go on red and yellow. Now off the face off, we go and get it. It's in, we're there. So now yellow has to be, yeah, yellow's got to be a little bit, I mean, I don't know. He gets it. Not sure where I could have been, really. I mean, I'm trying to just be open. I didn't have much stamina to begin with. The pass here, yellow just kind of spins around, then eventually gets blasted. Now goes back the other way. Now these guys have to come up big. And they score. That's one of those where I'm not going to say the goalie has to have it, because it is going across the body. I don't think that's necessarily above a goaltender making a save, because I mean, I don't know, it's kind of tough, right? To put the blame on both red and teal in this scenario off a 4-on-2, it's not the best. I don't really know what teal is doing, because he's actually just gliding. For him to just glide here is not the best play. I mean, he's got to be hustling back, trying to fight to the inside of Ethan. If he doesn't have stamina, that's, I mean, there's not much you can do there. But like, he has to still skate. He kind of just glided. Like, if he kept skating, he probably would have been somewhere here. Maybe he could have been able to get a body check on him, hold a poke check out. But these are like things that are like, if you're in the slot trying to back check last second, you're flipping a coin whether it's going to work. I would say the fault does go to him because he didn't skate back. I mean, you got to try to have some kind of pursuit back. Red let this guy get to the inside of him, which is not a good play either. But we did turn the puck over. Now, can you say green handcuffed yellow? No. I feel like he had enough time to make a play. I mean, he kind of just did a little spin here, controlled it for too long, and then got hit. I mean, when you have like at least a couple seconds, something's got to happen. Like, he tried to do a little too much, and he just got blasted from the guy back checking him. So, I mean, green gets hit, but he made a good pass. I'm not really I guess if I like went from here, pulled up, try to cut in, he did a little spin, maybe he could find me. I kind of pulled back, so I didn't really give yellow an option. Actually, no, I tried, but like, there just wasn't enough time, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, I did try to cut in, I just didn't have enough time. So this is bad on yellow for turning it over. You could, obviously a turnover that happens from any player has to be a fault, at least somewhat on them. All right, it then goes to the fact that red let his man on the inside, but this is still a weird, tough scenario. If you're a goaltender, I feel like you do have to come up big in some of these scenarios, right? Obviously, you're down 3-0, so I don't think the ice tilt that you may be able to say is in the game is going to help the goaltender, but for him to not even be able to move from where he was, I mean, he's got to be able to cut and see that he has to be able to cut right. Because eventually, right, that pass would be made to Ethan, and if he stayed where he was, I mean, that shot still would have went in. So, I mean, I would still say that's bad on yellow, turning it over. Bad on red for letting his man get on the inside. He has to stay. He got to be able to stay to the inside there. Lost it. I mean, he did poke check, but that's not a good play where he was and how he poke checked. It should have been he literally stayed where he was. If you're going to play this and say that the poke check hold him, like meaning you poke check and it didn't work, that's not a good alibi for red, because that, to me, you don't play defense that way. If he's going to play that, he's got to understand where this player is moving, and he's got to meet him while he's moving. So he cuts in. You also, if you're playing that, you have to be able to cut in with your skates with him. Meaning, if you're going to hold your poke check out, you've got to be able to almost go into the player. If you do a poke check and you go away from the player and he's cutting the other way, it's like an all-in. It's like a body check. It's no different. If you cannot make contact, even if you do make contact, there's no guarantee that you're going to get that puck. That's not a fault on the poke check. That's a fault on your pursuit while you're trying to poke check, right? I always preach that if you're going to go, like if you're going to go and poke check somebody along the boards, that you're going to skate with them and almost put your body in front of them while you're poke checking. That is the best way to play a poke check. In this case, for a poke check that hits the puck, not really. He actually missed it. It was actually a skates. But for him to sort of go this way while this player goes this way makes it a bad poke check. Makes it a bad... It could have been a hit and he still, you know, maybe negated the body check. It's the exact same play. He went all in with the poke check and he gambled and he lost. And then this guy has a clear cut lane to the net. And you also had Teal that didn't back check. So it's, I would say, a fault on center and 2 defense. But the majority goes with the turnover and the majority goes with how red played that. I mean, if you're a center, you got to be able to play defense. If I was in a rotation and I was blue here, you would expect me to do the exact same thing. So it's not defective based on the position. It's based on the rotation. Center is basically playing defense. He's got to be able to play it. But you guys let me know. I appreciate you guys for watching. Be sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, hit that bell. I'll catch you guys in the next one.